still kept those ball fields, and people would just drive up.
Hello Dreamers, and welcome back to the Bringin It Home Show right here on MC22. I'm social media coordinator Tucker LaBelle alongside Director of Operations Roman Weinberg for the Field of Dreams movie site. Roman, can you believe it's already season 2?
Debut of season 2. It's crazy. It feels so good to be back in the swing, stepping back out on that field in a couple of short weeks here for the start of our season. April 1st, Friday. It's going to be great. A heck of a 2022 coming up. Very excited, and a lot of exciting things to cover, which we will cover here with you today and throughout the season. Keep you up to speed on all of the exciting events that we will be hosting and what to expect at the movie site for when you plan your trip, Dreamers, to come out to our little slice of heaven in Dyersville, Iowa. Now, obviously, if you had tuned in to the Bringin It Home show on MC22 last year, you noticed that our set is just a little bit different. Tucker and I are excited. Mediacom is very excited to partner with us, and we are utilizing their studio, so nice new digs for us here in the back. This is our new home for our second season in 2022. And in terms of that, in a couple of weeks, we'll be back at our regular office, which normally is our office 7 days a week. We live and breathe it at the movie site for day in and day out operations. And we are excited for just to be back, to have baseball back in our lives. Major League Baseball will be back in early April, now that the lockout is settled. But also, what can fans expect, Tucker, when they come out on site? Well, in terms of that, you can come out and tour the inside of the Field of Dreams farmhouse, that iconic farmhouse, a 30-minute guided tour of the inside of the house. They'll take you through a synopsis of how the movie was created, how the site was selected, and how it became the legendary, iconic movie site that it is today, 33 years later. Hard to believe. You can also rent the field out in the evening, stay overnight in the Field of Dreams farmhouse, grab a bite at our concession stand throughout the day, or get your Field of Dreams gear at our Baseballism store on site. So a lot of exciting things, Tucker, and I think we're just most excited to be out again, interact with fans. And the great thing about our job is it's different every day, and we get to interact with all of you. We call you the Dreamers. We mean that affectionately. You guys are a loyal followership, and we are forever grateful for you. It's the only reason that we get to do what we do every single day and have a profound impact on you. So thank you, and you have a profound impact on us. So, a couple of weeks away from baseball starting and softball starting here for local baseball and softball. Tucker, why don't you give us an update on what to expect?
Yeah, so Dubuque Schools baseball starts May 16th. We're just around the corner from high school baseball, first pitch here in Dubuque and surrounding areas. Very excited for that. College baseball and softball is in full swing right now. My university, Clark University, plays a doubleheader at Waldorf for baseball and a doubleheader at Evangel for softball this week. Loris, the Dewhawks, are at Buena Vista this week for baseball and at Grinnell in a doubleheader for softball. And then rounding it out locally, the University of Dubuque is at Luther College for baseball and softball. They're at Cornell for a doubleheader, rounding out the baseball and softball college scene here in Dubuque. Roman?
Well, speaking of local high school baseball and softball, that brings us to our interview with Rex Massey. We're very happy to welcome him in on the show, the head coach of the Western Dubuque Bobcats softball team. 2021 was his inaugural year, brought them all the way to the state championship, and they took it all home. We're here to talk about his experience with the Bobcats, how he united the team and brought them all the way through that championship run. So that's coming up right after this commercial break. Dreamers, welcome back to the Bringin It Home Show. Roman Weinberg, Tucker LaBelle, joined by special guest Rex Massey, head coach for the Western Dubuque High School Bobcats, the softball team champions, the champion Bobcats from the 2021 season. Rex, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about your background in coaching and how you found out about the head coach position for Western Dubuque and how you won the job.
Yeah, I have not done a lot of coaching with softball. This was really kind of my first year. I'd helped out a little bit, one team a few years before that. I had coached for 13 years in the football program at West Dubuque, so that gave them a little bit of familiarity with me, which probably helped through the interview process. Sure. I found out about the job, my youngest daughter, who had graduated and played softball a couple years before that, she texted me and said there was an opening and encouraged me to do it, and I didn't really pay attention to it. And a couple days later I said something to my wife that there was an opening, and first words out of her mouth was, "You should do it." So wow. It kind of led to contacting the administration and putting in an application.
Awesome.
Rex, what were some of the biggest obstacles for you entering the 2021 season? And it doesn't seem like obstacles are a big issue for you, but were there any that were present, and how did you respond to those obstacles in 2021?
Two main things, and one part that people don't think about was all the administrative work behind a large program like West Dubuque. We have 75 to 80 girls in the program. We have 5 teams. We play 150 games during our season. So everything from finding out where the equipment is, the technology to use, forms to fill out, that was extremely new to me, not being a head coach before. And I have to give a lot of credit to the athletic director, Tyler Lown, Casey Bryant, the head baseball coach. They did a lot to help me get through that process and get to where I could focus on softball. Really the big softball obstacle was just getting the girls to believe in themselves and have confidence. They had some success, but just had not been able to get over that hurdle to make it to state and to have success at that level. So a lot of it was building a little bit of an edge and getting us a little more confident in ourselves and maybe even borderline cocky a little bit.
Yeah. So for a first-time softball coach, first year with Western Dubuque, you were awarded Coach of the Week in early July and Coach of the Year in August. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to the program? And how does that reflect on the team?
Any coaching award that you get, it means two things. One, I was obviously very fortunate to have a talented group of young ladies, and we got off to a great start in the season. We started out 16-0. They were playing fast. They were playing extremely good softball. So any coaching award, obviously you have to have good talent. The second thing that you have to have is a great team around you. And I was fortunate enough that all 6 assistant coaches came back to coach last year, which doesn't happen a lot when you have a head coaching change. A lot of times you'll lose some assistant coaches, but my assistant coaches did everything. They ran a lot of practices, they coordinated uniforms, they did things that they probably hadn't had to do in the past because I didn't have that experience in doing them. So all those awards mean nothing more than just you have great athletes, and I had a great support staff around me, including bus drivers, our athletic trainers. Everybody pitched in to do things that they probably weren't expected to do before.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. Rex, in an interview with Iowa News Now last year, you were quoted saying, "We're playing a game, and anytime we can play a game, we should be having a fun time doing it." How much do you attribute that mindset to your team's overall success last year?
Yeah, that was probably the key thing that drove us to come from behind in 13 wins, and including all 3 wins at the state tournament. We got behind on all 3 games and came back to win. Again, the girls played with such freedom and confidence and just never got frantic when we got behind. It's kind of a funny story with that, how that came about, because it really wasn't a process I had thought of in advance. I was talking to one of our seniors about, what do you want practice to look like? What do you think we can do to be more successful? And she, at the end, she said something about, we'd like to have fun Fridays. And I kind of looked at her and said, what's a fun Friday? She said, well, at the end of practice, we'll spend 5 or 10 minutes and play dodgeball, kickball, play some fun game to take away the pressure of softball. Mm-hmm. And I kind of looked at her and I said, I'm fine with that. We'll have fun Fridays, but will you make a deal with me? And she says, yeah. I said, well, let's have fun Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I said, anytime I'm putting a glove on or a ball in my hand or a bat in my hand, we're going to have fun. And so that was kind of a message I teased her about all season, but every night we played, every practice we had, we ended the practice with, did we have fun today? And so it really came through in those games where we would get behind and fight to the finish.
That's great. That's great. And the fact that you had to come behind practically all season just shows your ability as a coach to be able to adjust mid-game and make preparations as well week in and week out and play to your competition and their strengths as well and adjust. How was that from a week-to-week, game-to-game preparation? Can you walk us through a little bit of the mindset from a coaching perspective?
Yeah, the first half of the season, we don't have a lot of film on other teams. We don't know a lot about other teams, so we really focus on just what we need to do to get better. And as the season goes along, we start getting some film, getting some feedback on other teams, and knowing what teams are going to be big competition as the season goes. Sure. We were very fortunate. We have a couple pitchers on our coaching staff. So we would emulate the other pitchers that we were going to face. So if it was a drop ball pitcher, we'd have our best drop ball pitcher throw. If it was a rise ball pitcher, we'd have a rise ball pitcher throw. We could manipulate whatever speed we thought that pitcher was going to do. So it was important we saw live pitching that was as good or better than what we were going to see in the next game. Scouting, it's really pretty easy. It's with anybody that's played the game knows that everybody has a weakness and everybody has a strength. And my job was to try to find that weakness and make sure we relayed that to our catcher and pitcher, and they were able to manipulate that during the game.
Sure.
Rex, where are you at in the process right now preparing for the season, which just starts in a few weeks in May? What are you looking forward to, and really where are you at right now in that process?
Yeah. We try to encourage the girls to take October, November, and December off. I want them to stay away from softball. Don't play it anywhere. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. Once January comes around, we get our pitchers and catchers going. The state of Iowa changed the rule this year that we are able to coach catchers. So 2 nights a week, pitchers and catchers get together. This is the time, January, February, March, where we work on new pitches, we'll work on technique, make sure we're developing those skills. And then once April comes around, we hit a lot on location and building strength so that we're ready when May goes. We will start some hitting practices here late March. In April, the state allows us to have 10 days where we can practice hitting for the team. Again, we have 80 girls signed up this year. We are going to have some tremendous teams from our freshman, sophomore, JV teams. We have a lot of talented girls. 14 girls are showing up at pitching practice. They're all throwing 50 to 55 mile an hour faster. There's going to be a lot of good softball out of West Dubuque the next few years.
Excellent, excellent. Well, best of luck this year, Coach. Thanks again for joining us. And as we wrap up our interview, since this is a Field of Dreams movie site related podcast, or show, I should say, we want to wrap it up and just ask you one final question that we ask all of our special guests, and that is, in your opinion, what is the most important lesson to take away from the film Field of Dreams?
Yeah, to me it's about the family bonds. I mean, my family, we didn't do a lot. We didn't go out and travel a lot or anything like that, but we came together around sports. And I believe my parents, who are passed away now, their best memories came from watching their kids play sports. My wife is a sports addict. That brought us together. My kids, grandkids, anytime we're together, we're talking about sports. So it's really about that bond and family and how sports can bring a family together.
Excellent. That's so true. Coach, thanks again for joining us.
Thanks.
Stick around until after the commercial break. We'll return with Maddie Harris, senior on the Western Dubuque High School Bobcat softball team. Welcome back to the Bringin It Home Show. Roman Weinberg, Tucker LaBelle, joined now by senior from Piasta, the Bobcat, Maddie Harris, catcher and first baseman now, entering the 2022 season. Maddie, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we just had Rex on and Coach Massey. Tell us about your first impression of Coach Massey, and did it take time for the team to bond with him as the season went on?
Coming into the season, I didn't know a lot about him. I knew he played fast pitch, and I knew he's a pretty good player, but coming into that first practice, we just all felt a sense of comfort with him, and he had confidence in us, so we had confidence in him, and we all bought into his philosophy right away.
Nice.
Maddie, how would you describe the team culture and the atmosphere in the locker room with your teammates in 2021 and the big year it was?
Yeah, the seniors last year, they were huge leaders for us. They really brought the team together, and everyone just supported each other through everything, and I think that's super important, and it helped us go a long way.
That's awesome. Were there any challenges that you faced from a training standpoint with the pandemic and the way policies are changing? Was that hard for you to adjust to?
In 2020, we were shut down for a week because some of us were exposed to COVID, so that was hard not to be practicing and everything. But last year, the only challenge we faced was we had to sanitize everything after each practice, but the coaches took care of that. So
Okay.
it wasn't hard on the players.
Were you finding ways then to train at home, or how did you do that with no access
Yeah.
to school facilities? How did you adjust that?
Yes, so I actually have a batting cage at my house, and then Sydney Kennedy does as well, and we live pretty close to each other.
Sure.
So we would go over there, and she would pitch live, and I would catch and hit off her. So that was super helpful.
Fantastic.
Maddie, in an interview with Iowa News Now last year, Coach Massey said, "We're playing a game, and anytime we can play a game, we should be having a fun time doing it." How much do you attribute that to the Bobcats' success last year and the overall meaning in that as well?
Yeah, that was our whole motto, kind of, was just no pressure, have fun, and it really showed in practice, games, everything. We were so competitive, but we always knew that this was just a game and we needed to have fun. And it relieved so much pressure off the players. It was great.
Was there ever a point during the season where all of you kind of looked at each other and said, you know what, there's a chance that we could go all the way to state? Was there a point in the season?
Actually, no. We did not mention state once. We never said the word. We all knew we could go. We all knew we could win. But Coach was never like, we need to go to state, like we need to do this. It was just go out and have fun. Even when we were at state, we did not talk about the championship, like nothing of that sort. We just all knew we could get there.
Was there a calm vibe throughout the entire season? Because you all came back week in and week out. You never gave up. That persistence showed through and obviously paid off for you. What was it like? Was there ever any panic button moments for you throughout the season? And who was responsible for keeping the team calm, would you say, from your standpoint?
Okay, there was never a time where we panicked. We had so much talent on the team that we all knew we could win no matter what the score was. If Coach Massey got a little upset, I was the one to be there and be like, hey, man, like, we got it, we're good. And I think if you asked him, he'd say the same thing. So.
Awesome. So thanks again, Maddie, for joining. To wrap up, we ask every special guest this final question because it is Field of Dreams related.
Right, yeah.
Right? Have you ever been to the site first off?
Yes.
Okay,
I have.
awesome. When was your last time there?
My last time there was probably, my brother played a baseball game there actually. They actually played a team from Australia there.
Oh
so
my
that
gosh, I
pretty
was
cool.
there.
Were you really?
Yeah, I remember that.
So I think that might have been the last time I was
That
there.
was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh wait, I was at the game where they bring in all the celebrities and
the
they
Team
play.
of Dreams event.
Yes.
2019.
I was there. Yep.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking forward to bringing that back. Not this year, but 2023. Stay tuned
Yes.
for that. So excellent. Any fond memories? Anything that you did on site that every fan does? You come in and out of the corn?
No, I didn't. I just wanted to be there and watch baseball. So.
Nice. Just took a seat on those bleachers and
Right,
watched
yep.
the game, right? That's awesome. So now on to the final question is, if there's a lesson to take away from the Field of Dreams film, in your opinion, what is that lesson?
There's a part of the movie where the father and the son are like playing catch, and I think it really shows how much like people can bond over baseball and softball, obviously, and it shows how important family is. And then I would say another cool thing that comes out of the movie is that it shows like the world or like this country, like how important the ball field is to people around here and how it brings people together.
Yeah, certainly still has a legacy 33
Yeah.
years later and
Sure
going
does.
strong. That's incredible. Maddie, thanks again for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Stick around here as we head into our outgoing segment. This is the Bringin It Home Show.
Welcome back to the studio, Dreamers. What an insightful set of interviews with Rex Massey and Maddie Harris that just get us that much more excited for softball and baseball to kick off here in the Dubuque area. Roman?
Yeah, wonderful people, great team, and very excited to just have baseball and softball back in our lives on time this year locally. You'll definitely catch us at some games here throughout the season when we have time. So Maddie, Coach Massey, best of luck in 2022, and again, congratulations on taking it all home, state champions in 2021. Moving on to April, we will be right back here at the end of the month. You can catch us every final Tuesday live on MC22. You can also catch episodes from previous months on their website. In terms of our next special guest, well, you'll just have to tune in and find out who that is next month. We will be tweeting about that at Mediacom MC22 on that Twitter page. But Dream Nation, if you're interested in catching the latest Field of Dreams movie site news on social media, Tucker, where can they follow us?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the social media platforms, Dreamers, are for you to consume. We love content as much as you do, so head on over to our social media channels and give our Dream Nation content a look.
That's right, at FOD Movie Site for Facebook, at the Field of Dreams Movie Site for Instagram, at Field of Dreams Movie Site for Twitter, and if you're interested in booking an overnight stay or a tour inside the farmhouse, you can do that on our website, fodmoviesite.com. Dreamers, we'll see you next month, and as always, keep dreaming.